Good morning. Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the River Road Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I am Adrian Graham, Director of Congregational Life here, and I'm serving as your announcements and welcome worship associate this morning. If this is your first time here in person, we welcome you, and we hope that you'll stop by our table so that we can get to know you and get connected together. For those of you watching on YouTube, please feel free to join in the chat with our online host. If you're watching this at a later date and have questions, please visit our website to learn how to connect with us. This service is also being live streamed and recorded for later viewing on our YouTube channel. There may be occasional brief images of the congregation in the sanctuary included in the video. If you do not wish to be on camera, please sit in the lounge or in the balcony. We are carefully watching the development of today's weather. So we want you to know that tonight's game night has been canceled. It will likely be rescheduled next weekend sometime, not sure yet. We're trying to work on the logistics, so please pay close attention to both newsletters this week for information on when that will take place. This Wednesday, we will have popcorn theology at Flow and watching Back to the Future from 6 to 9 p.m. You can register for that on Realm. Please also register as soon as possible, like today, okay, for the Breaking Boundaries and Building Beliefs, otherwise known as B4, workshop to be held on Saturday, March 28th. This is a vital step from the UUA that our congregation must take before calling our next settled minister. See the e-weekly or the search committee webpage for more information. Registration for that is also on Realm. Details for all of our programs and upcoming events can be found on our website at rruuc.org. Thank you.
We begin our time together by lighting our chalice, the chosen symbol of our faith, with these words by Atticus Palmer.
We call this light before us in hope that we might always remain a strong community, working together to make the world a better place. When we are grieving or sad, when we are challenged, when we need help, this flame guides us out of the darkness. When we are cheerful, when we celebrate, when we accomplish a great task, when we return to a place that makes us happy. The chalice reminds us to share our happiness with others.
Good morning, everybody. Are you ready to sing? Oh, come on, after last night. Are you ready to sing again? Yes. All right, please rise in body or spirit and let's sing Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. Can we turn that sound off? Number 188, if you don't know the words, they might appear here, I don't know. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts and run. Open your hearts and run. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Rejoice and come in. Enter, rejoice and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice and come in. Yay. Cool.
Today's prophetic voice is a story written by a religious educator named Becky Brooks. It's been slightly adapted. Once upon a time, there was a person named, a teacher actually, named Sophia. And Sophia, can we get the sound turned off on this? This is very annoying. I'm hearing myself like 2 seconds later. Thank you. I'll keep going. Where was I? A teacher named Sophia. And everyone in town knew Sophia because she'd been teaching there a long time. And she was an excellent teacher and such a kind person. Everyone loved her. One day, she got to work and she found this note, an envelope on her desk. She opened it up and it said, "Dear Sophia, I will be around tomorrow. I wonder if I might stop by your house for tea tomorrow afternoon. Your friend, God." At first, Sophia thought maybe that was a joke, someone trying to be funny. But she couldn't think of anyone who would actually play a joke on her. And then she thought, well, what if it isn't a joke? What if God really is coming tomorrow? I should do something. So she cleaned her house and she got her table ready and she made a little welcome sign. It wasn't perfect, but she made it to her. And of course, she put on hot water for tea, of course. So in the morning, she didn't really know what God wanted to eat, but she had a few snacks around. She thought, oh, I'll make it look nice. It'll be fine. And she was so nervous. She didn't know what, just the idea of God coming, that's just so weird. But then she heard a knock at the door. She goes, oh my goodness, it's happening. But it turned out that it was the mayor of the town. He said, "Hello, Sophia, I'm just bringing you some lemonade, and I saw the welcome sign. Are you having a party? So could someone look under the chair and see if they got some lemonade there, a can of powder that we can use to make lemonade?" No? Yay, bring it on up. I'm like, oh my goodness. That would be a surprise. Sophia said, "I'm so glad you're here. Come in, come in. I was expecting a very important visitor who you might want to meet. Come in." And the mayor said, "Well, I see you don't have a whole lot of mugs here, so I'm just going to go home and get some." And she waited a little while, and eventually he came back with some mugs. Does anyone have mugs under their chair they could bring forward? There are about maybe 3 or 4 of them. Bring them on up. So he brought some of his nicest mugs because he wanted to do nice things for Sophia. And then they sat around and talked, and there was another knock at the door. It was a group of kids from her class. They were walking by, and they heard voices, and they thought, "Oh, Sophia's here. We should go say hi." And they said, "Hello, Miss Sophia. You having a party? We were just bringing you some cookies." Did anyone have cookies they could bring up? "Are you having a party?" And she said, "Well, I'm glad you came. Please come in. I was expecting a very important visitor that you guys might want to meet. Please come in and make yourself at home and have some of the cookies you brought and some tea, and we even have lemonade now." The children were giving the mayor some much needed advice, and there was another knock on the door. Deep breath. Open the door. It was an entire women's covenant group. How weird. "Sophia, hello, Sophia. We heard the tea kettle and the laughter and thought you were having a party. We brought a whole basket of tea because you never know. We have lots of different options for tea. So who has a basket of tea they could bring up?" Maybe it got put back because someone thought it was in the wrong place. Oh, awesome. Oh, thank you, Bodhi. Oh, my goodness. We need lots and lots of tea. And then there's another knock on the door, and she's like, "Oh gosh, this must be God now. I mean, all these people from town are coming, but no God." So, but it was just her next door neighbor. Her next door neighbor said, "I saw all the people here, and I thought maybe you were having a party, and I brought some gluten-free granola bars because you never know when someone's going to come who's gluten-free." And she thought, "Oh yeah, right. Maybe God is gluten-free. I don't know." So, does anyone have a box of granola bars they could bring up? Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, we're running out of room. So all afternoon, people were coming and stopping by, and it was just, everyone was having such a good time, kind of like last night at the cabaret. And people were everywhere and talking and eating and drinking and all those things. And people, then it wound down and everyone went home. And she was sitting cleaning up and she thought, I wonder where God was. Maybe someone was still just playing a joke on me. Anyway, it was a good party. So she went to work the next morning and she found another note, same paper and envelope. And this one said, "Dear Sophia, I had such a wonderful time yesterday. The cookies were delicious. The granola bars were a really nice touch. Tea mixed with lemonade is my very favorite. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful host. I hope we can do it again." Okay, now things were really getting weird. But she thought to herself, does it really matter who this God person is? We should be welcoming everyone into the house. Welcoming into the community is a form of generosity. We bring our gifts, our talents, and our funds, and our offerings, and we welcome everybody. Sophia welcomed people she knew, but we also welcome strangers into our community all the time. We welcome whole people, despite whether they like cookies or granola bars, whether they like tea or lemonade or both or neither. Everyone has their own gifts to bring to the community, and we should keep working to make our community very welcoming. So now I would like children and youth can go to their classes.
In support of our congregation and the community beyond, the morning offering will be gratefully received. We do so mindful of the fact that we draw water from wells we did not dig and pick fruit from trees we did not plant. This is as it should be, so long as we dig and plant for those who come after. If this is your first time visiting, please feel free to let the plate pass you by. Your presence is your gift to us. To learn more about why we give of our financial treasure, you can check out our website at rruuc.org. There you can find information on our vibrant programs and all the ways to connect to the mission and vision of this community. You can also give right there on the main page by clicking the blue Give Online button. You can also text to give. The text to give number is 73256. So text RRUUC and the amount you'd like to give to the number 73256. You'll receive a link to complete your donation. Thank you for sharing your time, your talents, and your treasure.
just what we needed this morning, Shuai. This is the time in our service when we call to mind the joys and the sorrows that have been on our hearts over the last week since we were last together. For those who are visiting today, you may have noticed during the music that folks came up and lit candles. You are welcome to do that at any time during the service, to light a candle either here or in the back that represents what's on your heart or mind or soul this morning. We come together on a gray and wet day when the earth is doing what it needs to do. It is raining, it is going to snow, it is doing what it's supposed to do, even though it may be inconvenient for us and for the things that we have planned. But as I was walking my dog this morning, I noticed the very, very beginnings of a bud on a tree. And I thought, oh, you need this moisture, don't you? You've been waiting for this day for you to be able to just poke your little head out. So as inconvenient as it is, let's remember that this weather is serving some purpose. It's bringing joy to someone, to some creature, to some being. And isn't that the way it is for all of the things we experience? Where we find something sorrowful or we think, oh, this has been the worst week ever. And for someone else, it's been the best week ever. That's the cycle of life, that we hold the joys and the sorrows and remember that even when our sorrows seem overwhelming, they are soothed and comforted and abated by others' joys. We come together in community and bring all of that together. There are two people that I want to call to mind by name this week. One is Chuck Croner, who would have turned 85 years old on March 1st. And that is why that day has been chosen for his memorial service. So here, next Sunday, we will be hosting Chuck's memorial and celebrating his 85th birthday. The family wants me to make sure you are all aware of that. And we're also sending love and healing vibes this morning to Patty Absher, who fell and broke her hip. She's had surgery. She had surgery, I guess it's been a week ago now, and is in rehab. But we are sending love and care to her as well. I invite you now, in this period of silence, to bring to mind the joys or the sorrows that are on your heart. And you know what? If you want to speak it aloud, speak it into the air. But let's be for a moment and share our joys and sorrows. We've named, come forward, choir, for those whose names we do not know, and for all the names that are carefully guarded in our hearts, we offer our love and prayer this morning. as a group, those of us who serve as parish ministers probably spend more time writing our stewardship kickoff sermons than any other message we deliver during the year. One of my colleagues, Peter Friedrichs, who is now retired, actually started one of his kickoff sermons like this. Earlier this week, I was speaking with a member of the church about the sermon I was going to deliver today. She said to me, "What's the big deal? This one is easy. All you have to say is, you have money, we need money, give us your money, then we can all go home." So, you have money, we need money, give us your money. Our closing hymn is, everybody had a big laugh. So here we are, ready for my 2026 Stewardship Kickoff Sermon. And I want to start by telling you something that I know to be true. River Road is not a building. As much as I hear about this building, River Road is not a building. It is not a budget. It is not a line item. It is not a policy or a membership number in a database. River Road is you. River Road is each of you sitting in these chairs this morning, those of you watching live on YouTube, those of you watching later on YouTube, those of you who missed everything and called your friend to say what happened this morning, you are the congregation. You are its past, you are its present, and if you choose to be, you are its future. I'm telling you that now because everything else that I'm about to say flows from that truth. So we may as well get that part out of the way. I'm also telling you that because some of what I'm about to say is hard. So hold on to that truth while I share the rest with you. Today is Pledge Kickoff, the beginning of 4 Sundays during which we ask you to make a financial commitment to support River Road's operating budget for fiscal year 27. 27, oh my God, which is the period July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. This is how UU congregations work. We don't have a pope or a denomination or some place that money just magically comes from to fund the things we do. We get no money from the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations. In fact, we send money to the UUA, which uses it to create and print hymnals, to provide health insurance for church staffs around the country, to operate the search process for ministers, for religious educators, for membership professionals, for musicians. The UUA uses that money to develop religious education curricula like Sophia's Table that we heard earlier today. It uses it to provide programming materials for youth and adults, to publish books, to publish magazines, to create video content, to run a bookstore, to develop publicity materials, and to organize the national social justice work of our movement. The UUA does all of these things to support our individual faith communities, and yet that's a fraction of the support our congregations receive or need. Everything unique that happens here, every Sunday service, every choir rehearsal, my salary, Cliff's salary, the cost of the chairs, the electricity, all of that stuff is funded by you, by your pledges, by your volunteer time, and by your generosity. So let's talk about where we are right now, honestly, because you deserve the truth. And I see Cliff's face. He told me, he's like, don't scold people, don't be too mean. I'm not going to be mean. But I have to tell you some truths. Let's start with the numbers. Last year, we set a pledge goal of $960,000. We fell short. We brought in $878,000. $878,000, yeah. A tremendous amount, but still about $82,000 less than we needed. That shortfall, combined with rising expenses, produced an $80,000 deficit for this year that we are currently in. Now, thankfully, River Road is very privileged to have an amount of extra money on top of its emergency reserves, on top of its endowments, that allowed us to close that gap. But that money's not going to last forever. As of the end of December 2025, it doesn't look like we're even going to collect that full pledged amount of $878,000. If not for an incredible bazaar in November and higher than expected rental income, we would be having a different conversation right now. For the coming year that starts in July 2026, our projected operating budget is approximately $1.4 million. Even with our best estimates for rental income, the bazaar, plate collections, and other revenue, if pledges remain flat, we're currently looking at a deficit of $150,000. That's nearly double yet last year's gap. I need you to sit with that for just a moment. Not in panic, not in shame, but in clarity. Because clarity is what love requires of us right now. Here's what's driving some of those numbers. Our health insurance premiums for staff increased more than 20% this year. Our electricity costs have gone up and would be even higher if not for the solar panels we have. We have a triannual waste test coming up, which is required by the government, which will cost us several $1,000s. And you see, we are watching hymn lyrics on a video monitor this morning because our projector has finally aged out and died and needs to be replaced. Also, this magnificent building, recently added to the National Register of Historic Places, is expensive to maintain. Industry guidelines suggest we should invest about 2% of its replacement value annually in upkeep. Right, Jeff? The replacement value of this building is somewhere between $12 and $16 million. That means we should be investing $240,000 to $320,000 a year just to maintain it properly. The board, back in 2020, realizing this, committed to budget $80,000 a year for this purpose. In the 6 annual budgets that have been prepared since then, that commitment has not been kept once. Not once. I have included it again in this year's budget proposal because it's the right thing to do and because this building matters to you, to the broader community, and to the renters whose income helps sustain our mission. Now, you commit less, $150,000 goes less, right? But this is the clarity. Back in 2023, you made a commitment as a congregation to pay your staff at the Unitarian Universalist Association fair compensation rates. Everyone here on staff is being paid a fair wage. This also means that they receive a cost of living increase that is calculated based on the cost of living in our area and all of those economic factors that go into play. For us, that means a 2% cost of living increase for the current year. You have kept that promise every year since you made it, and the proposed budget keeps it again. Your staff deserves that. Cliff and Shwai and the incredible music that they bring to us, Beth and Laura and the faith development work they do with your children, your teens, with adults, Anna and Susan and Emily and Natalie and Jesse and Mandy and Luz and Mr. Hahn and Danny and Brian and Kamini and Aruni and Adrian. These are the people who show up for you week after week. They are the human infrastructure of this congregation. And I want to name one more thing in this budget that's important for me to say out loud. For the last 2 years, I have chosen to accept half of what the standard ministerial agreement calls for in professional expenses. The proposed budget includes the full standard amount. Not for me, because I will be leaving you at the end of this fiscal year, but for your next settled minister who deserves to begin their ministry here with a budget that reflects your commitment to them and to Unitarian Universalist values. Please give them that gift. There's another reality, the membership reality, something you need to know as well. As part of our transition to the New Realm software, we've been doing a thorough membership audit. The first real verification of your actual membership numbers that's been done in several years. And the truth is this: we are not a congregation of 525 people. When this audit is complete, we will likely land somewhere in the low to mid 400s. And I know that's hard for some of you to hear. There is great pride in the size of the River Road congregation. But it doesn't mean that people have abandoned River Road. What it means is that our records haven't kept pace with the reality of people's lives. People move, people's circumstances change, people drift, and newer members, while precious and welcome, are often earlier in their careers and earning lives and don't have the same financial capacity as many of our longer tenured members who've been the backbone of this congregation's giving for decades. It reflects that giving patterns change, especially as there are so many worthy causes and organizations and nonprofits that are losing funding and need support. This is not a River Road problem alone. Congregations across this country, UU and otherwise, are navigating the same currents. Aging memberships, declining numbers of members, rising expenses, and expensive buildings. The UUA adopted the mission of Meet the Moment last year for exactly this reason. Your theme at River Road this year for stewardship is a riff on that, rising to this moment. That's not an accident, because this is the moment. Now, I want you to hear something. When you make a pledge to River Road, you are keeping the lights on, you are keeping the heat running, you are keeping the bathroom stocked. You're doing all of those things. But you're doing so much more than that. You are ensuring that your children have a safe, nurturing, theologically grounded place to grow. That they have West Virginia service trips, that they have OWL, that they have Wellsprings, that they have Sunday morning classes and childcare. You are sustaining a music program that is extraordinary, with 4 choirs, a brilliant music director, a fabulous accompanist, sheet music, guest musicians, and well-tuned pianos. You are funding the Flow program that Adrian has brought to life here, already drawing in new people and building community. You are maintaining this mid-century building that serves not just you, but the broader Bethesda community as a gathering place, a rental hub, and a community anchor. And you are keeping this congregation alive and healthy so that when your next settled minister comes through those doors, and they will in just a few months, they'll come into a community with real capacity, with vitality, and real resources to do the ministry that you all are called to do together. Now, I've talked to you many times before about the theology of stewardship, that it's not fundraising, it's not a transaction, it's an act of faith. And it is. It's a covenantal commitment, the keeping of a promise about the way you want to be together. So I'm going to say that again, because that's what we do every year, but I'm going to say it in a slightly different way. You live in one of the most politically engaged communities in the country. We are here in the DMV, in a place where many of you work for the federal government, or have, or love people who do. You maybe understand better, or at least differently, than most Americans what is at stake right now. Democracy is fragile. The institutions that protect our most vulnerable neighbors are under assault. The work of justice, and remember, justice is what love looks like in public, has never been more urgent or more necessary. And here's something else I know. River Road is part of that work. When you show up for a protest, when you answer Ursula's call for a democracy event, when you show up because Liz has invited you to an AIM event, that's River Road. When you welcome someone new into this space, you're River Road. When you teach every child that every person has inherent worth and dignity, when you model that inherent worth and dignity and the respect for others, that's River Road too. When you sustain a community that shows pluralism and values interdependence in a world that is fracturing more and more towards tribalism, that too is River Road. And River Road can't do any of that without you, without your commitment, without your time, your talent, and your treasures. Now, this isn't a guilt trip, and I mean that. I really do mean that. It's not a guilt trip. Every contribution of time, talent, and treasure is important. No matter what it is we bring, it is important. And I know personally, from speaking to many of you, that this has been a rough year. It's been a very hard year. There have been job losses, rising costs for childcare and education, for food, medical expenses, caring for aging parents, and the loss of loved ones. It's been a hard year. And yet, I know that somehow the power of this community has helped you through it. Being able to come into this space and see those you love here who support you has been helpful. It has soothed your soul. It has brought you joy. So we hope that you will give what you can. that you will give what is meaningful and significant for you and your household. If that means holding steady from last year, we understand. If that means increasing your pledge even a little, that would be extraordinary, and we're asking you to consider it because it matters. But whatever you give it knowing what it is. It's not a fee for services. It's not your dues. It's your declaration. It's you saying, I believe in this community. I believe in what we do here. I believe that Unitarian Universalism has something essential to offer this broken and beautiful world. I am River Road, and River Road matters. You ready for the audience participation part? Repeat after me. I believe in this community. I believe in what we do here. I believe that Unitarian Universalism has something to offer. I am River Road. I am River Road. I am River Road. And River Road matters. River Road matters. Okay. Now say it like you believe it. Okay, this is our morning for honesty, so I'm going to be honest with you about one more thing. This is the last time I'm going to stand in this pulpit and ask you to invest in this congregation. My ministry with you ends at the end of this fiscal year, and it's been one of the great privileges and joys of my professional life. We have laughed together, we've sung together, we've danced together, we've eaten together, and that was all just last night. We have eaten and laughed and sung and danced together so many times. No, we have eaten together way too many times. I have watched you do hard things. I have watched you sit with difficult truths. I've watched you care for one another through grief and transition and political upheaval and institutional uncertainty. I have watched you rise. And so this is the ask I leave you with. Rise again. Not because I'm asking you to, don't do it for me. Rise again because you are River Road. Do it because you believe, as I do, that this congregation has a future worth funding. Do it because the minister who comes after me deserves to come into a community that chooses its own vitality. Do it because the children and the youth in this building today and all those who come after deserve to inherit a congregation that did not flinch when the moment demanded courage. I heard several of you last Sunday speak a truth about the first time you came to River Road. Why did you come? Several of you said it was because I wanted to bring my children to this place. I'm asking you all to remember why you first came here. And if it was years ago to bring your children to this place, think about the children who have yet to come and give for them. The time is now. The moment is here. The question is, will you rise to it? Will you rise to it? Yes. Will you rise to it? Yes. Okay. This is the time. We are now rising to the moment. Valerie, come and tell us how to do that. Okay.
Good morning. I am Valerie Lingaman, and I am River Road. And
I am Jennifer Lowe, and I am River Road.
And we are here representing an amazingly hardworking group of people who have been singing their own love song to this congregation, the way Lisa Moore sang hers so beautifully to us last night. And I would like to introduce them all. Please take a stand. My amazing Financial Stewardship Committee, Laura Akinbami, Rob Goldman, Lisa Orange, Bennett Harmon, and Susan Eckert is here somewhere. She's also a critical part of our team. Natalie Shaw, we wouldn't be here today if it hadn't been for her, so hats off. And Anna Lim, who makes it all happen, just everybody on staff. But we're happy to be here today to launch this campaign. We could easily do a what she said moment, but we want you to hear it from us, your congregation. So Jen and I are here to ground you in 5 key questions as we embark on the stewardship campaign. Who, what, why, where, and how. So Jen, who is stewardship about?
It's about all of us. Stewardship isn't something a committee does for the congregation. It's something we do together. Whether you've been here for decades or arrived last month, if River Road has been a place of meaning, of challenge, of comfort, or connection for you, then you are part of this story. So Val, what is stewardship?
Stewardship is about the way we all care for each other. It's about the worship that nourishes our souls. It's about the music that transports us. It's about the social justice work that we inspire each other to do and we get out there and we deliver on. It's about religious education for all ages. It's about our amazing staff, that human infrastructure that Reverend Connie talked about that makes so many things possible. And it's about this beautiful building that is a place people can come where they can join us in living our UU values. What stewardship is not about, it's not about dues, and it's not about a fee for service. It's a shared commitment to this covenantal congregation that is rooted, again, in our UU values. So Jen, why do we do stewardship?
So this year's stewardship campaign is rising to this moment. We are living in extraordinary times that call for courage, compassion, and community. River Road has long been a place that rises to the moment, whatever the moment asks, whether that's deep spiritual connection, meaningful justice work, or simply showing up for one another. Pledging is one of the ways that we rise together. It allows us, not just the staff, not just the board, us as a community to plan responsibly, support our ministries with confidence, and say yes to the work that we are called to do now and in the future. So how does that actually happen, though?
Well, you see the way it happens. You saw it last night at Cabaret, the talent that people invested in giving everyone a wonderful night of community. You're going to see it in this fantastic brunch that is waiting for you after this stewardship service. So please, everybody, make sure you stay and bring your appetite. You see it in the way people volunteer to teach RE, all of our OWL teachers, all of our adult education groups, the way we support each other in our small groups, all the justice acts that we, invest in the bigger world. It's everywhere. It's in small acts of kindness, of welcome, of smiles, of holding somebody's hand. You know what it is. We do it constantly here at River Road. So the other piece of where is where can you make that pledge? We have our wonderful slides up here.
So you can pledge. Let's get very practical here. Realm has made pledging so easy this year. You're going to love it. So get out there and see what Realm can do. Your first option is to scan the QR code. You will see a pledge form on many of the seats here in the sanctuary. That's it right up there on the slide. Scan that QR code. You can pledge in less than 1 minute. I challenge you to do it. The other way you can do it is go to the homepage, rruuc.org, click on the green Make a Pledge button in the upper right corner. 1 minute, you're done. If you are one of the people who just abhor technology, you like your paper, you like your pens, you really are committed to analog, grab that pledge form sitting on one of these seats. There's a whole table right there on the bridge when you walk toward the brunch. Many of these forms are there. We'll be there all month. Fill out the form, drop it in the pledge box underneath our poster on the bridge. You're done. 5 minutes, right? 1 minute, 5 minutes, your choice. That's how we pledge. So Jen, bring us home. How do we do this? How do we know how much to pledge?
We invite you to approach pledging as a spiritual practice, a moment of reflection rather than comparison. Some people increase their pledges. Some keep it the same. Some pledge for the first time. Some give financially and give also of their time, leadership, and love. All of it matters. And I can give you a sneak preview that we are already a third of the way there this year. So we need everyone to pledge. I want to thank you. Thank you for those who have supported River Road for years. Thank you for those who are new and still discovering what this community means to them. Thank you to everyone who helps this congregation rise and rise again. And to showing up when the hockey game was on today. Thank you. As we begin this campaign, I invite you to ask for yourself, how does River Road show up for me, and how can I help sustain it? Thank you for rising to this moment with us. And now, please welcome Jim Haney to the stage, who is going to discuss how the congregation rises with him and together. Thank you.
So good morning. As I said, Jim Haney, and I've been River Road for over 30 years. I'm going to make an assumption. Everybody, or almost everybody in this room, and people watching, are going to pledge. The question is, when? Now, I'd like to make a case for doing it today, or very, very soon. Now, let me pull back the curtain just a little bit on what a long pledge drive feels like from the inside. I used to be involved in fundraising here. And what I remember most is the agony of the drive that seems to go on forever. The people running the campaign sweating over whether they were going to make the number. The board members agonizing over a budget that they can't finalize. Staff members wondering whether there'll be enough money to fulfill their roles, or whether even they'll have a role. Now, can you imagine a ministerial candidate trying to decide if this community is the right place for them to commit their life while the congregation is still trying to figure out if they can afford them? Now, I pledged on Thursday. And and if the number I pledged is wrong, because I used to hear that, oh, I don't know what to pledge. Well, you know what? You can adjust it. At least everybody on the committee will have a clearer idea of what's coming in. All right. Let me tell you why I pledge. Because I think my story might remind you of why you pledge. 1993, I needed an officiant to marry me, to this wonderful Jewish woman. This congregation said yes. A few years later, our daughter was born, and we decided that she needed and deserved some moral and ethical grounding. I was told that Sunday school here ran on a co-op basis. Parents teach. I was 50 years old when I had my daughter. What I knew about little children was pretty low. So I said, what a great opportunity. I can find out something about kids by being involved. So I had the chance to teach my daughter's Sunday school class all the way through OWL. And now the other teachers, and there's some of them right in this room, and religious educators that I met, are really still part of my life today. After 9/11, I realized that I was really sleepwalking through local community. So I joined a men's group, people here in that men's group, and I decided that I ought to get on some committees, volunteer some time, and for the first time, I felt genuinely connected to something. When I retired 16 years ago, this congregation gave me a place to show up and be useful, to volunteer, to contribute, to feel relevant in a stage of life when that isn't always easy to find. And then tragedy struck. My wife was dying of cancer. What this community gave me at that time, I cannot put into words. Reverend Green provided pastoral care that carried me through some of the darkest months of my life. And when my wife passed, even though she was not a member, we held a large memorial service here. Reverend Nancy helped me put it together. Cliff and Linda Ryden, they were there for me. My men's group served as ushers. People I didn't know all that well helped with the reception. I could not have survived that season without this community behind me. That's why I pledge, not out of obligation, not out of habit, because this place has shown up for me again and again at the most important moments in my life. And for it to keep doing that for the next person who needs a wedding officiant, a Sunday school, a men's group, pastoral care and grief, there has to be infrastructure. And infrastructure costs money. There is a real unnecessary anxiety every year around whether this congregation will have enough to rise to the moment. You can help relieve that anxiety, not someday, right now. You can pledge today. Thank you.
We've heard a lot today, haven't we? And I know I'm what's between you and food. So let's sing some more. Please rise in body or spirit as you're able and willing, and let's sing about that light that each of us carries in us. We're going to sing This Little Light of Mine. Okay. You don't need the words, do you? Wow. Cliff's trying to earn his salary there, isn't he? Let us now extinguish our chalice, signifying the end of our time together today by reciting together these words from Elizabeth Sell Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Benediction? No? Did you speed that up so that we would? No, I'm just kidding. This is the moment, friends, and you are the light, not some distant borrowed light, your light, the particular irreplaceable flame that you carried into this world when you came, that you will carry out into this world when you leave. Go forth and let it shine in your generosity, in your courage, in your commitment to this congregation and to the larger work of justice and love. River Road, you are not finished. You are rising, and the world needs every bit of your life. So go in peace, go in hope, and let that light shine. Amen, and blessed be.